All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday, happy noon hour, happy lunch hour. Some of you are probably having lunch right now. Maybe you're having Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. Maybe you whipped through a drive-thru and got yourself some boneless nuggets. Maybe you're just about to walk in to a Boston Pizza, the presenting sponsor of the oil stream. We're in a full-blown meltdown right now in the Edmonton Sports Talk office because Canada didn't get its own boat during the opening ceremonies of the 2024 Olympic Games in France.
France, first of all.
Sorry, that's my bad. But Matty is pretty rattled.
He is a hot tamale right now. He was dropping F-bombs. How did we not get our own boat?
Very disappointed. Very disappointed.
Sharing a boat on the River Seine.
Anybody else watching these Olympic ceremonies right now? Where do we come out on?
Why are we sharing a boat? We shouldn't. We have a ton of athletes.
There's over 200, isn't there?
Yes.
I guess maybe we should have got a smaller boat, but one that could fit just us.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's from the movie Jaws. The shark, of which I drafted yesterday, and it still only led to a third place finish in the draft. Unbelievable. How was the hangout today?
It started out pretty fiery, I'll tell you that much. Jay was a hot tamale as well. I was very content with how things went. Listen, I won by 6 votes, Matthew calculated. I'm very happy. Thank you to everybody who voted for the best movie prop draft team, which was mine, team number 4. Jay actually had some great picks, like Sex Panther from Anchorman. That's a great
real nice pick. Late pick, too.
The Wrench from Dodgeball. Like, he literally picked those ones before. I didn't think that those ones... I thought they were kind of like the sleepers that people might have forgotten about, but Jay was all over it. His best draft. I think he is going to be a champion at some point. Just today's not the time. It's me. 3-peat. I'm very proud of what I've been able to accomplish in the EST draft, and especially considering you won the first 2.
I won the first 2. Now you've got 3. You now lead Edmonton Sports Talk draft championships.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do your homework. And then now, the joke is I had my laptop. I was looking some things up. I did make 2 or 3 picks that were Googled mid-draft.
So where'd you get the rest of your picks from? Do you have a list?
No, I did like an hour the night before.
Oh, so you actually do have
of
a
course.
list. Well, why didn't you tell us this? We all thought you were Googling every single pick.
I could show you the list right now.
I want to see this list.
Absolutely.
I want to see how, I'm calling you out on your list. I want to see how in-depth it is. Oh, that's a pretty good list, Tony.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just winging it all the time.
No. I was riddled with indecisiveness.
Yeah.
And, like, the Elder Wand, I wrote it down.
Helmet from Gladiator would have been a good one.
Yeah, but I wanted to get the name, and I forgot. And I don't know, like Gladiator.
Spock's ears. Good prosthetic.
Yeah, and that one I wasn't sure, like, was Mrs. Doubtfire's entire costume a prosthetic? Yes. I had to fly it by the commish, but she said,
cross these out when they get picked too?
Yeah, I put the strike through.
Oh, you're way more organized than I thought.
Listen, when I lost those first 2 when we started the draft here at EST, continuing on the tradition from 1260.
Why did I not take the Pretty Woman necklace?
That was one of the ones I thought of right away when Quinn
that
threw
was
the
really good.
Pick. Yeah,
really good.
That's an iconic film.
That would have been that was when they clipped the thing and she goes. Ah!
My mom loved that movie, and she would watch it all the time. And we at the time we only had like 1 or 2 TVs when I was little.
Yeah.
At our old house.
Yeah.
And she would watch it like every weekend, and I'd be like,
"It's a great movie."
I have to watch.
Jason Alexander's a huge jerk, but
he was great in the McDonald's commercial before.
Before that, yeah.
Fame too.
There was somebody else texted. Oh, it was Sickler. Who was it? Let me see if Sickler had a great piece of jewelry today that he texted in this morning. I'm going to have to scroll way back here on the
there were some that I didn't really understand because I was looking it up the night before. I didn't understand the fuzzy pen from Legally Blonde. I've never seen those. Oh, yeah,
this would have been a good one. Dolphins Super Bowl ring from Ace Ventura.
That is an excellent one.
That would have been an awesome piece of jewelry.
Yes. I wanted to think of something from Ace Ventura, like Snowflake. Snowflake couldn't have been a MacGuffin,
no, because
right? Snowflake's a character, though.
But I think the whole movie was about finding Snowflake.
Yes.
So Snowflake, I think, by our random definition, could have been a MacGuffin.
Because we kind of stretched MacGuffin a little bit, right?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, so I don't know how much we stretched it.
I had to look it up, and I referenced the dictionary description of it, definition. I think I understood it. Like, I picked the red stapler from Office Space because it is kind of a sneaky. It's a theme that pops up that you don't really, give a lot of attention to but he's like, have you seen my stapler? See my red stapler?
I've never seen it, so I don't get it.
You've never seen Office
I don't know.
Space?
I think I would probably
and then
love
he
Office
burns
Space, but I haven't seen
down
it.
the office
Well, I just
out
said I
of
haven't
anger,
seen it, dude.
and then they're digging through the rubble, and they're like, oh, look, a red stapler.
So that was it.
It's kind of like a little thread that's woven into the movie. It's layers. And anyway, I have a lot of time and appreciation. I can't remember who it was on Twitter, but they ranked and broke down.
Yeah, that was an
every one of our picks.
amazing. I think he had me winning it. Actually, was that the guy that had the port? It was almost looked like he did it in a Word doc and posted it.
It looked like an Excel sheet, and
it was really good.
It was
I
very well done.
retweeted it last night.
Yeah.
And he scored out every single pick. It was, see you later, YouTube, Trev. Have a good day, buddy.
See you
See
later.
you tonight. Did you guys talk on the Hangout today? And we're going to get to Stan Bowman's work to-do list.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid gets married this weekend.
Yes.
I'll talk a little bit about that and how creepy you're all going to be about it. And Savoy
Naturally.
signs overseas, eh?
Savoy?
The other Savoy.
His brother Carter?
Yeah, Carter Savoy signed in Finland.
And
I'd
then
see him at the Spengler at some point.
I follow, I remember Rachel, Sam Gagner's wife from Sam's first go-round.
Yeah.
And I know Bree Nugent-Hopkins. I saw that all the wives and girlfriends, they did yoga together. I saw that on
The day before the wedding?
Yeah, this
that's
is
nice.
very elaborate.
That's
well done.
nice.
I'm sure the boys are having a good time, too.
Pre-yoga wedding. How relaxing is that?
It's a big day. It's a big weekend. High stress. You want to do it right. If you've got the means to go all out, all the power to you.
You know what we did the night before my wedding. Tammy was with my sisters and her sister and at their hotel.
Yeah.
And then me and my parents and my buddy Boom.
I know Boom.
Yeah, you know Boom.
He's a good guy.
A couple of us went to the Edmonton Capitals game at the time.
Those were good.
It was a good time.
Not as good as Riverhawks.
We had
but
pretty
they
good.
were
Yeah,
still good.
they was still fun, but
Yeah.
Riverhawks had taken it to another level.
Yeah.
Mr. Randy Gregg and everybody, Doctor
Hogel.
Hogel. They've done a great job.
Warren
down there.
Love.
But I remember we had a couple bevies, and they're like, "Oh, you can go and run out on the field." And he's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, man, go down, run the bases." He's like, "I'm gonna do it." So me and my parents are sitting up in the standstill, and we see Boom, and he's awkward as hell, but he's a pretty fast runner.
Yep.
And he comes out of that bottom door, and you just see all these kids around the bases, and then a grown man in jeans and a t-shirt, and he was wearing big black Doc Martens.
Oh, no.
And he takes off, and he busts his balls around those bases, and then when he's coming into home, he slid in his jeans,
that's
the
very
time
cool.
of his life. So it's not yoga, but we had a good time too the night before our wedding. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had the privilege of being a best man for my very good best friend, Brett Nakanichny's wedding. But it was hard because I was living in Oklahoma during that time. And I tried to plan as much as I could with the bachelor party. We went to Vegas. I had to tag up with the boys. My good friend Tony and my other good friend Shane also chipped in a lot.
Do you ever call your buddy Tony?
T-Bone. Yes.
Tony.
T-Bone.
Yeah.
T-Bone. Anyway, they helped a lot, and I feel like I did okay, but I think I there was some there to be desired. I wasn't able to fulfill it as best as I could. I think I have regret a little bit, but I think we had a great time. And in Vegas, we went to one of these burlesque shows.
Well, I've never been to a burlesque show.
It was very good. And
Is that what classy strippers? Is that kind of what it
classy
is?
strippers?
Yeah,
Yes,
cool.
They're dancers.
Yeah.
No pole.
No
pole.
pole.
You're not throwing
full clothing.
No, boobs and stuff.
The boobs are out.
They're out.
Wow, at a burlesque show.
Yes.
I always thought it was one of those
a little risque.
fancy photos that you wear, but you wear lingerie and cover everything.
No.
That's what I thought it was.
And I think this one was called X at Flamingo.
Okay.
Anyway, they pulled me up on stage, and I was like
At the burlesque show.
They thought I was him.
They
thought
so
I
did you
was
tell
the
them it's
groom.
not me, or did you just take?
No,
the
I
groom?
went with it. And my buddy was like,
So you stole the groom's dance at the burlesque show,
Nax was like, that was amazing.
and you're the best man.
I was the best man.
Buddy.
What do I say? No, not me. Like, I
That's
didn't
really
know it was
tough.
going to happen.
That's really tough.
Yeah, it was tough. Anyway, we had a great time, great wedding.
My buddy Wales got married in Banff, just outside of Banff, kind of in Banff. Anyway, the parties and everything were in Banff. It was a lot of fun. But his best man. This one was great because lots of the time I have to MC weddings.
Yeah,
it's not very often I just get to go, or like especially
Enjoy.
just go, or you're just one of the groomsmen. But my buddy Gwyn, the Gwyn who created Renee. That Gwyn. Hi, I'm Renee. So anyway, Gwyn had a few drinks and had to do his best man speech.
Ooh.
And we're sitting there, and we all know, like, even sober Gwyn, best man speech would be somewhat interesting because he's a very unique dude. Okay. And we're sitting there, and he likes to, like, freestyle rap and stuff. And he's had a couple of drinks, and he starts. We had to go up at one point. I had to kind of go up and be like, "Hey, man, like, good speech. Come back down to your seat." He's just like, It was an all-timer. And weddings are fun.
They are fun.
Hopefully McDavid has. Anyway, we'll get to that.
They're going to have a great time. It's going to be a great weekend.
We'll get to that at some point here on the show today. Your hair looks terrific. I'm going to point that out right now.
Thank you, Chantel.
Jeez, didn't you just go see Chantel 3 weeks ago? What's this about?
Because I'm leaving on Monday.
Man, you plan haircuts that? Wow, good for you, buddy.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
That's pretty impressive.
Chantel knows, like, in the summer months, she goes shorter. She's got carte blanche, as we like to say.
Yeah, okay.
But I give something like, hey, let's leave the top longer. Like, she's great. She's been cutting my hair for like 10 years, so
that looks real nice.
Nice and tight.
Right. Hey, on the hangout today, did you guys talk about Quinn blowing at his commish? Did you get into it at all?
What did she do wrong?
Well, do you realize what the narrative would be today around here if Iwanyk was commish and Eric had his 21 picks made before we even got to the final round?
Oh, yeah, we'd be all over Matthew.
We would be all over Matthew for that. Still love Quinn. Amazing commish. But the bottom line is Eric got a significant, he still finished last.
Yeah, I know.
But had a pretty significant advantage in the draft.
That's just the best draft one.
Now she's what, 3 drafts in?
This is a new thing.
I will say the commish's pick, a brilliant twist.
Good twist. And she was ready to lay down some mean sanctions on me.
Well, yeah, and then she was telling me I was walking on thin ice.
For what?
Because I kept arguing about the Infinity Stones.
Oh, yeah.
But
that was a bad argument.
But at the same time, she literally screwed up the draft order. So none of us are perfect. Except this guy. Well, no, because you almost were late. You were 2 seconds from getting sanctioned. So
no, I was on time, though.
That was a tough one.
Great draft. Lots of fun. Thank you to everybody who voted. And a lot of good feedback, too. Like, people, it's a good reprieve in the middle of this deep off season, as we like to say. And we like to have some fun around here. So that was a great one. I really enjoyed that.
Corey B. to 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. My dad and uncle took me out the night before my wedding to Capital Pizza. I don't remember getting home and woke up totally nude in my living room.
Nice.
My wife was not impressed. Yeah, that's a tough one.
She's like...
Sounds like a great time, though, doesn't it?
I picked this one.
Sounds like a real nice time.
Well,
hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Now he's got an Edmonton Sports Talk tattoo on his leg.
He does.
I'm assuming Corey will be at the Nasty Bash tonight.
Yeah, we'll see.
He can show that thing off.
Just saw Vance Van Vandervan, who was here.
Oh, he came by to pick up some gift certificates for him and Tommy Rubella.
Tommy Rubella back in town. Good to have him back in town.
Very nice.
I'm not going to say. Speaking of marriages, he's back in town.
Oh, that's
not
good.
in Arkansas. Arkansas.
Arkansas anymore.
Arkansas.
Who, Tommy Rubella is?
Yeah.
He's back in town?
Back in town.
He hasn't even told us that yet. Is he coming to the Nasty Bash tonight?
He can't today.
Ah, damn.
I know.
All right, the Oil Stream presented to you by Boston Pizza.
Let's go.
Patio this weekend. I could see a spot where you're patioing before coming to the Elks game on Sunday.
Yes.
I think you could probably go hit it up. Myself and Maddie were at Boston Pizza next to West Edmonton Mall last night. Had a little small meteor pizza. That's my go-to.
That's very good.
Very good. Maddie had a pizza with a bunch of different veggies on it and stuff. It looked much more full than my pizza. And then I only ate about half of it, and then I took the other half home, and I was like, I'll save it maybe for today, for the kids or something. But then last night I did eat it. It's too good a pizza.
Yeah.
It's still somewhat fresh.
Do you warm it up in the microwave or
not last night? I crushed it. It was weird last night because it was still really good, but it wasn't like cold. It was still like soft and loose, like it had just been cooked.
The cheese had not congealed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it was cooled down. And I have to say, I really liked it. I really liked it.
You know what's a great hack for leftover pizza? If you got one, throw it in the air fryer for like 2 or 3 minutes.
That's it, 2 or 3 minutes.
It's
So
like
what
it's
do we
right
get?
back out of the oven.
Really?
Yeah.
So is it more crispy than when it would first
Yes.
come out of the oven?
No. I think
Same amount of crisp.
It refines that crispiness level. I love it. I think it's a great hack. I highly recommend it.
All right. 780-218-99. Shotski Jerry's going to be rolling in tonight.
That's
That's Jerry who has a shot ski, so he'll be there tonight. That was
I
fun
usually
last time
spill
too.
it all over my shirt.
It's tough.
It is
because you're all pulling at the same time. It's really weird. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Big announcement for Edmonton Sports Talk coming down the pipe tonight. Make sure you're following social media probably around 7:45 if you are not in attendance, because it's going to be a big announcement at the Nasty Bash, and we're pretty excited for that one. All right, quickly, I do have here, Connor McDavid gets married tomorrow. I'm asking, this isn't really for you, Tommy. We already had some wedding stories, but I'm asking, like, anybody listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com right now, or if you're over watching on YouTube, by the way, sub to the channel. Working our way up towards that 10,000 subs. Let's go. We want to get there by the time we hit our 1-year anniversary in early September. Give us a thumbs up if you're there, too. How creepy do you plan on being on the McDavid wedding this weekend? Like, if for fans who are listening or watching right now, like, are you going to get up? Because the wedding's tomorrow. Nice Saturday wedding.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow, the 27th.
I'm assuming.
Are you going to get up tomorrow and, like, refresh your social media feeds until you start to see wedding news trickling in? Are you going to be the guy who takes a screen cap of his soon-to-be wife's Instagram and, like, put it out on Twitter, hoping to get a bunch of retweets and stuff? Or are you just going to be like, if something comes across my feed, I'll check it out? What do you think most fans are? Like, there's going to be those creepers who are like, come on, where's the info on the McDavid wedding? Oh, my God, there it is. Like,
There's going to be the guys that are like, oh, which other players from other teams are there?
oh, of course.
Who's this?
Why is Jeff Skinner not there? I thought he was a part of the team now.
Is Warren Fogle there? Interesting. Would he consider coming back? Not that they need him to.
That will be on Mondays. Oh, you're off, right? You're taking off.
I'm flying out.
You're flying out Monday. Yeah, I know. On Monday's oil stream, I'll be sitting here, and sure enough, we'll have people being like, "Hey, Dusty, I noticed that Cody Ceci wasn't at the wedding. Do you think Stan Bowman's already traded him? Like, that'll be a thing.
Do you know if Jeff Jackson has traded him?
One or the other, like whoever it is. So yeah, I'm very interested to see the reaction we have to the McDavid wedding in this city. I think that'll be pretty funny.
You know what's funny? I was doing NHL Network Radio a couple weeks ago, and that was brought up, like their Connor and Lauren's status in the city, and I was asked how it compares to Wayne and Janet.
Which radio? Oh, NHL Network. Okay.
And I was doing NHL Network Radio, and I was like, well, I don't remember the Gretzky wedding. I was 1 or 1.5. I've heard, I've seen, I've had him and her tell me about it. I've had their kids tell me show me stuff about it. It looked like a monster deal. Like it was the Canadian royal wedding. But I mean, like, I'm like, I guess they're definitely like an it couple in our city. People know of her through him. She has her business. I think it does relatively well. It's quite popular. But I think there's a healthy amount of like respect and buffer zone given by people. Not like that one video when they were picking up the beer, though. That's hopefully the exception most of the time. Jeez. But I don't know if people are prying that much into them, like Gossip Magazine, like back in the day. Like I'm sure it was. Plus, the city's a lot bigger now than it was in 1988.
Like, and also the way we consume media is a lot different now. Like, do you think Sunday morning on the front page of the Sun?
No.
There's not going to be like a huge photo of McDavid and his wife now, is there?
No, there shouldn't be. It should be
so.
How we're trying to save what's
rebuild
left of
Jasper. Yeah, 100%.
And an actual plan to fight this fire and do something good for our province and one of the communities several communities that have been affected by these wildfires. It shouldn't be a hockey player's wedding, with all due respect to Connor and Lauren. But no, I don't. Maybe a little picture in the corner. I don't know. But no, that should not be the focal point.
They didn't send Van Diest to go cover at NHL.com?
No. I'm more than confident that they don't want a single one of us from the media to be there.
Can you imagine somebody from the media?
Not even Stauffer.
Well, Stoff will be there, obviously. I mean,
ask him if he got invited to Dustin Penner's wedding.
He didn't?
No.
Did he expect to?
Some say he did.
What a wild animal that guy is, eh?
Rawr.
Jasmine is in, and Jasmine will see you tonight. I want to see all the fashion at the wedding. Odds are it'll be basic.
Is that good or bad, Jasmine? Like basic good or basic?
Like she's not going to have like this huge, what do they call it? The thing that trails behind you? Train?
The train.
It's not going to have a huge train that has to get carried by a bunch of little kids or something? You never
Maybe.
know.
I don't know.
You never know.
What are the guys wearing? Are they wearing linen because it's hot in Muskoka? Avoid the sweat.
Big Maples in it says, Ricky and Lucy were supposed to be the royal couple of Canada, but Leahy and Randy and the cops screwed it up.
Jerks.
I wish I should go back and rewatch Trailer Park Boys once while I'm just like doing work and stuff in the basement. Just throw it on and just dive through that series again.
I like this. Great series, obviously. D. White says, didn't even know he was getting married this weekend. I only care what players do on the ice. Their personal life is their personal life. Yeah.
D. White, I do wish most people were like you, but some people aren't.
No.
That's okay,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's the nature of it.
All right, let's discuss this today here
go.
on the Oil Stream, brought to you by our partners over at Popeyes, where Popeyes does have the boneless wings now available to you, coming in a number of different delicious flavors, all the same flavors that you can get the bone-in wings in, but now they're just more convenient to eat because they're boneless at all Popeyes Louisiana kitchen locations. Stan Bowman's to-do list. I want to get 5 deep on this. I got 4 right now. You can tell me what I'm missing. Let's work. So if you want to chime in, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999 is where you can get in. Oh man, Brie Lando's in. It says, I'll be checking my phone to make sure Normology and Grumpy Cat are still alive Saturday morning after the Nasty Bash. Any Connor news will only be consumed by chance. We are hitting up Mr. Mike's for dinner on the way out to the rugby club. Very excited, Brie Lando. That's the crew that I golf with at the tournament. I can't believe this Normology dude's coming to the party tonight. This guy is legendary. Wait until you meet Normology. Oh my God. We had Glue Guy had a meeting with GCL Diesel yesterday about the pre and post game for the upcoming year.
I hope they're back.
And Michael, who was in our group, was like, I don't know what the hell you guys got going on over there, but it's awesome. You should have seen this Normology guy. I was just like, my God. So they're coming by next Tuesday for a visit. And I replied to an email to Michael as, hey, man, when you come by the office on Tuesday, make sure you have your shirt on, you wild animal. Like, it'll be a fun time tonight. Looking forward to seeing Berlando and the boys as well. That should be good. All right. So what are the top 5 priorities for Stan Bowman, hockey side related, to get taken care of here? And you know what? We have enough time today. It's a Friday in late July to actually put them in order. But I want 5. There's 4 pretty obvious ones, I think. And maybe I'm missing the 5th one, Tommy. You can pass it along to me.
You want 5, or do you like?
I want 5 priorities. First of all, I saw somebody else text in about Draisaitl because obviously it's going to pop up on this list.
Yeah.
13.8 over 8 years. Any truth to some of the rumors that number's out there like that?
I don't know about, but again, like I reiterate, the negotiations and where they're leaning, it can change day to day, week to week. But the last we got from Pagnotta on the final episode of the season of Hello Hockey on Saturday was more leaning towards 3 to 5 years, somewhere 13.5 to 14. So the AAV sounds right. It sounded like it was leaning more towards a shorter term. 3 to 5 years is still a long time in hockey. It's not like the 7-8 year deals and extensions we see, like Konechny yesterday. But last I heard, it was more 3 to 5, and the price point was the same though.
All right. Well, we'll see where that ends up going.
Same ballpark.
All right. So Draisaitl extension is one of the 5 things on the to-do list. Broberg contract would be one of the 5 things on the to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
Holloway contract would be one of the 5 things on the to-do list. Improve the blue line. Does that go on there or what?
Solve the blue line issue.
Okay.
Because there's a log jam.
Okay. And then I guess the other one, what I am talking, get cap compliant.
Yeah. Well,
that kind of ties into Holloway and Broberg, though. That seems like a little bit of a cop out in that situation. So let's say the 4 things right now on Bowman's to do list would be Draisaitl extension, Broberg contract, Holloway contract, solve the blue line.
Yeah.
And then what else? What would be the other thing?
Listen, this is not really. I don't know if you can hook it into team related, but if you're going to have him as the GM and executive VP of hockey operations, he needs to continue to show everyone that he has changed and he is working with Respect Group and doing that. To me, that's very important. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that's not hockey.
Yeah, that's not hockey related. I mean, I think that stands alone as an automatic number 1.
Yeah,
right. So like that's an automatic. I mean,
hockey related.
If he gets all these other things done on the to-do list, but he all of a sudden just bails on all the other good things that he's been trying to do for the last few years, then it's a fail anyway.
Then I would say he needs to either maintain or build up his hockey ops staff, unless Jeff Jackson's like, this is the crew you're working with. Maybe you can bring in a guy or a guy or two here or there.
Do you think Bowman would have the power to be like, Bill Scott's out, Keith Gretzky's out? Like, I also know they're not Jeff Jackson.
Yeah.
They're pre-Jeff Jackson.
I don't know. How much? Because Jeff Jackson inherited them too.
Yeah.
They're doing all right. Like, I think Keith Gretzky's he's very well liked in Bakersfield. Bill Scott's helping this team dance on a tightrope when it comes to
the cap and everything.
The cap.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if Bowman or Jackson have more of their guys somewhere, right?
I mean, and if they're in lockstep with one another and they have this mutual respect and appreciation for one another, then I'm sure they think similarly. I don't know where Brad Holland falls in all of this. I know he's still with the team. So, it sounds like everything's kind of set right now. There has been some movement. As a Finelli took a job coaching on a bench somewhere, and there's a new video coach that has come in. That's in the grand scheme of things, a smaller move. But outside of that, they kind of have everything set.
Yeah, there's not too much to do there.
No.
780-218-9999 is where you can chime in here. It'll get you into the inbox at 12:32 on a Friday. Rib City Sep does say convincing Nurse and Knobloch that he can play wing, top priority. He's been pushing for 10 years to get Darnell Nurse onto the wing. I don't think that's going to work. All right, so if it's Draisaitl extension, Broberg deal, Holloway deal, solve blue line issues, whatever they may be with the way it's currently constructed, what's the number 1 priority on that list? Get Draisaitl locked up? Even though, I mean, you don't technically have to get Draisaitl locked up before the season, but you do technically have to get Broberg and Holloway done and be cap compliant.
This is Stan Bowman's list, right? Not Jeff Jackson's. I would say like that stuff with Holloway and Broberg and getting whatever's going on the blue line figured out would probably be more his.
That's Stan Bowman job.
Yeah, that's more
Draisaitl's Jeff
his
Jackson
task
job.
Order or list.
That's probably the better way to look at it.
Here, figure this out. You got to do this, this, and this. Get Broberg, get Holloway locked up. Figure out what we're doing on the back end. Got to move one guy out. We need to make cap space. That's your thing. Let me take care of dealing with Leon.
How have you been feeling about Puckpedia so far?
Getting used to it.
It's so. I think it's going to be very good, but it's so different
Yes.
that you still have to figure it out.
I'm adjusting to the layout.
Right? Like how to maneuver around
where
it.
to look.
I would prefer if the full roster breakdowns were higher up on the team pages.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably try to move some things around.
I'm not going
there.
to complain about it.
No. I'm just
it's a valuable resource.
Yeah. No, it's done really good, and they're looking
transactions, injuries. I like it. Like it keeps you up to speed. It's going to be like all encompassing, right?
So how up against it are they right now?
Well, they're over still.
Yeah, and you got to get the 2 contracts done.
They have negative $354,167.
$354K.
Yeah. That's their projected and current cap space on Puckpedia.
So either Kane goes on the LTIR to start the year,
and he's saying he's going to be ready, apparently.
Well, then how do you get things done for Broberg and Holloway?
Trade a guy.
Yeah, but who? Who are you trading?
I know.
Cody Ceci?
Yeah.
3.2 mil?
Yeah.
Is 3.2 million enough? Actually, it would be 2.9 million because they're 3 point whatever it is over.
Right.
Is 2.9 million enough to get Broberg and Holloway done? I would think it should be.
$1 million for Broberg, $1.5 million for Holloway. Like how much
that
can
should
they
be enough.
How can they truly command more than that with their body of work? And you can't point to
I'm trying to think of other
7 or
ways
8
they could do
games
it.
in the playoffs for one guy and a decent run in the playoffs for the other guy. That doesn't equate a huge pay raise because they both not really. I'd say Holloway has more established himself as a full-time NHLer, but
Yeah, but neither of them have moved the needle where they get to call like they should just. This is gonna sound. They're young guys. They're just now getting an opportunity.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily play a lot of hardball if I was them. I'd be like, thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this great team.
Yeah.
Let me go out. As you're going to have other cap casualties along the way, they're going to get a little bit more money at some point in the future, right? Like,
yeah.
So if CC has to go, I mean, could you get them both done for 2.4 and try to move Kulak, who's got a year left next year too?
Personally, I think it's better to have Brett Kulak than to not. If you're picking between Cody Ceci and Brett Kulak, I would think that the majority of fans would value and appreciate Brett Kulak slightly more than Cody Ceci. I do. And I'm not trying to slight Cody Ceci.
I like Kulak. I have
since
I liked Kulak before they got him. I thought he was a very undervalued defenseman.
Why did they sign Brown and then re-sign Stetcher? That's, like going back to that, like what? Like what was that?
Well, with Brown, he can be sent down, right? Like he can he's got $1 million a year for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure like if you had to how much of that would count? This is why I got to figure out how to use Puckpedia properly. Let me see if I can
finagle it.
Look around here and see. Somebody will probably know. I'm just trying to think if you move that deal down, that could be Broberg money right there, really. No, his minor salary would still be 1.025.
What would it
Does it say the minor cap? Like, is there contract history? No, those are the previous contracts, which is nice. Like I said, I got to get a better handle on this, but there's a lot of information on this website. It's actually pretty well done. Just got to learn how to get a hold of it. Chris says Stetcher was kind of a weird signing too. He only played 2 games as well. Epiphany over on the Nasty Chat says, insofar as Broberg and Holloway go, you can squeeze them in for $1.3 million per year at 2 years. Their choice. You take it or you go to Europe and kiss your NHL career goodbye. So he's saying 1.3 per for both of them. So 2.6 to get both of those guys done. Right. So there is a weird spot where, especially with Broberg, you kind of got a weird veteran extra body sort of kicking around.
And the Brown one didn't please a lot of people. Let's just put it
in the organization.
I think fans and
fans.
I had people tell me, not sure why we went and got him.
Yeah. Can I share a theory on maybe why they wouldn't have got him?
Yes.
They weren't going to get Desharnais done. They're like, but we need a physical presence on the back end when the going gets tough. If you need to, Brown will throw him, right?
Yes.
I wonder if they're like, they sort of not panic move, but we're sitting there going, like, can't remember who it was. Somebody texted us and was like, Brown's not a good hockey player. I can't remember who that was, but it was shortly after the signing.
We had a long text and then it ended with, he's not good.
Yeah. So I feel like it was, just to keep the physicality up, if required, with losing Desharnais, you go and get Brown. Because Broberg's not going to play that. Stetcher's not going to play that. You probably don't have anybody else in the organization that's going to play that.
No.
So I think that's now why you got 3 years.
That's what's baffling.
I have no idea. Like,
yeah.
Brown should be a 1-year guy. The fact that his agent got him a 3-year contract is
where's the connection?
Pretty damn impressive.
Like, where's the connection to him? Who said yes? Go give him multi-year, 3 to be exact, and let's lock him up because we need him.
It's gonna be funny because he's gonna get in a few fights and people are gonna be like, "Oh, Brownie, like this is amazing,"
and then he'll get
and then
walked
you're gonna be like,
"Oh,
wait a second here." So, yeah,
I'm not sure.
I
don't know.
That was like, of all the moves that kind of got lost in the shuffle of everything being like so amazing, the Brown one really does kind of go, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Eden is in and says, we signed 3 defensemen this offseason. All of them are righties. And Stetcher, Brown. I mean, but if you move Cece, you're not playing Brown in your top 4 ever.
No. That's
Gager
they
had some time
Kulak
for
over
Stetcher
to the right side. Remember? In the playoffs, they tried him at the right side. They've used Broberg on the right side.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is that if CC moves on, there's really no debate. Broberg would likely start on the right side with Darnell Nurse. Right? That's what it's going to be. And then it would be Kulak with one of Brown and or Stetcher on the right side. That's probably how it's going to.
I like Brett B's text in the nasty chat. Tommy, you don't think it's a good idea that the Oilers signed a guy described as, quote, the worst player in the NHL, unquote, to a 3-year deal? That's a decade of darkness, Oilers special.
He does kind of fit Bill, some of those guys that they were just sort of bringing in at the time. You're like, what's this guy doing here? What's this guy doing here? What's this guy doing here?
How did that guy get a 4-year deal?
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting if they run into some injuries and they have to play him consistently. Mm-hmm. Like right now, I think he's a guy. How many games would you think he plays? 20?
30. 20,
yeah. Somewhere around 20 to 30 games, max.
Yeah.
Barring a really tough injury situation, which you hope they don't have a tough injury situation because they were so healthy for the most part last year.
Yeah.
You hope that doesn't come back around. Epiphany over on the YouTube chat says, come on now, a Nurse Brown pairing is a certain goal against. It's like telling the opposition, please score on us. Brett B says Stetcher or Broberg with Nurse. That's the other thing is when they brought in Stetcher, now we know he was eventually banged up and was on the sideline by the time it was all said and done. When they brought in Stetcher, I thought we'd see a little bit more of Stetcher in the early days, but never really
they kind of placed him in that 7-8 defenseman slot. Chris Runn says Kulak Stetcher is a small pairing. Kulak's a big guy.
Yeah, Kulak.
He's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, Kulak's not small. I mean, Stetcher's tiny. He's just 5'10".
Yeah, if that. Yeah, maybe 5'10".
Stetcher ended up getting 7 games with the Oilers. A couple of assists, was +4. And was a plus player in Arizona as well before the trade. And it almost has 500 games played in the National Hockey League. This is not Brown. Like,
no.
If you're looking at comparing the two guys, Stetcher undoubtedly has to be higher, depending on health.
He's an NHL defenseman.
Undoubtedly has to be higher.
Yeah.
And that's why I think if CC moves, if they move CC, however they figure out how to become cap compliant, if they move CC, it's got to be Stetcher or Broberg on the right side. I think you got to leave Kulak where he is on that third pair, and then you go Kulak, Broberg, or Kulak, Stetcher, and then up on the top pair.
Depending on how Broberg, if they start him on the right side, how he's handling things. If he's struggling, then I think I could see them swapping Kulak to the right side in small doses because they did it in the playoffs, and it surprised me a little bit.
Let's get to this question. Comes in from one. It says, do we need a young psycho to learn how to master that style of game from Perry and Kane? Is that a skill to develop and foster?
I like the young
psycho.
I don't know how many Matt Rempe's you're going to find out there, if that's what you're alluding to. That's a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, I mean, those guys just don't exist really right now. So.
And his game needs refinement, and it's cool seeing Georges Laraque working with him at Silent Ice Center. There aren't a lot of young psychos in the game anymore. Where there's always like a few wild men in every league. And you're like, oh, you got to look out for this guy because he's a lunatic. Those guys have kind of died out.
Do those guys even exist in the dub anymore?
Yeah, like
I haven't followed the Western Hockey League enough to know if I'm back when I used to cover the Western. Like I grew up in Cranbrook, loved the Kootenay Ice when they came there. That was a different time. That was the late '90s. They had Wade Belak's brother, Graham Belak, who was an absolute monster. And then I moved to Lethbridge, covered the Hurricanes for a couple of seasons. They had a guy named Derek Parker there. Do you remember this Derek Parker? I think Derek Parker still plays in that Quebec League and fights people.
That's a crazy league.
He was an absolute psycho. But I haven't covered the Western Hockey League as much outside taking the kids and stuff to Oil Kings games. I don't know if teams still have a guy that you would classify as not a goon. We know that those guys, but like a guy who's off the rails. Nowadays, I feel like there might be like 2 or 3 of those guys in the entire Western Hockey League because it's just such a rare. It's such a rare thing. You got to have the skill to advance nowadays, as opposed to back then to be like, well, look at this guy. He's going to hit everything that moves, and he's going to fight people when you need him. Nowadays, people are like, yeah, but he can't Michigan it behind the net. Like it's so different. I don't even know if those guys really exist much anymore. Like Chris and Brett say, Rafi Torres was legit insane.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. This like snap show or screw loose on the ice. It's crazy some of those guys too. Like when they play the game, they turn into absolute animals. And then off the ice, they're just like soft-spoken, very cordial, many times articulate individuals.
Well, I still don't believe to this day that Matt Cassian beat people up in the National Hockey League for a living.
And
that dude very rarely lost.
Yeah.
And he's like the kindest church-going. We've been doing 2 guys and a goalie for 5 years.
Yep.
And I don't think he has swore once.
He would be the kind of guy that would like be talking to you and pointing to something, and a butterfly would land on his hand.
Yeah, and then
he'd be like, look at the beauty.
Not only that, he'd take it to a sanctuary.
Yeah.
He'd take it to a butterfly sanctuary. It's insane. I don't know how Cass did it. Like I just don't know how that guy who's just a freaking kind teddy bear. Like
his dad Chappie.
Yeah.
Brent is the chaplain for the Elks. Is this sweetheart human being.
Yeah.
I haven't met Cass's mom yet, and I'm assuming she is too. But then he puts on skates, goes on the ice, and if you do something to him or his teammates, he will beat you up, and he will enjoy it.
I'm by no means sitting here and saying that the Oilers need one of those guys. I thought it was just a fun question from one over on YouTube saying, like, can they have like a little psycho somewhere that they can sort of train, and Perry and Kane can be like, this is how you drive people crazy.
You can develop that trait too. If you find someone who's willing and kind of looks at it and goes, yeah, I like that. I like being an a-hole on the ice.
Could Dylan Holloway become that guy?
I think
he flies around. Sure. He's not afraid to hit people.
Perry's super skilled. And
that's the thing. Good play. And Vander Kane, like they're both very skilled
Brad
players.
Marchand is a jerk on the ice and an absolutely phenomenal player when he wants to just play the game. Yeah, I guess you can curate that a little bit. Coax it out of the player. Sure.
Duncan from Calgary texts in today, 780-218-9999, says, you can bury 1.15 a year. So Brown at 3 years means he won't be claimed and can be buried with no cap issues. Stetcher's at league minimum means he's our 7th D-man and Broberg insurance. And the second year for him was probably why he was willing to sign for a league minimum. That's from Duncan in Calgary, trying to dive into a little bit of that Brown cap situation. Should they need the cap space for Philip Broberg? Chris over on the YouTube chat. If you're watching on YouTube today, sub to the channel. We'd love to add a few more subs here, whether you're watching live or archived on EST. Hammer the thumbs up for us before you leave as well. Chris says Holloway is too pretty.
It's a good-looking kid.
Good-looking kid. Now
They
I don't
call him Hollywood for a reason.
Now he doesn't get drafted in August's handsome man draft, right?
No.
Have you started to build your list for that yet?
No.
Will you draft yourself?
No. I don't buy it.
Will you? Will you? Will you draft yourself?
Absolutely not.
If none of us draft, we're going to do one local spot. Just so you know.
Oh, who would that go to?
I know. In a handsome man draft. And there's also going to be one Uggo spot, but not locally.
Oh, one Uggo spot?
Yeah, we were talking about it. We were talking about it today on the Nielson show. And there will be one Oilers category. So you have to draft an Oiler who is or currently was an Oiler who you deem as a handsome man, and we're all going to be fighting for Sheldon
who's a
Surrey.
handsome man? Chad Urschel.
Yeah?
Yeah. Don't you think?
You're going to draft Chad Urschel?
Nobody knows. I don't know. People
Like
know
Chad?
him. Chad.
Like the boy's buddy, Chad?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a good-looking dude.
He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a handsome man.
Yeah.
But no, you have to draft a local like celebrity, like a local, not celebrity, but like a local member of the media or local, like not just sports media, but
like a Tony Brar
or somebody. Yeah, Tony Brar's pretty finely groomed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the list. I think they're on my other sheets that I don't know if I threw out or whatever. I'll have to go grab it, but it's coming together nicely. But on the Oilers list, Sheldon Surrey.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Very. Very
who else is
like a rock star?
Who else has been extremely handsome? Oh, Leon Draisaitl. Don't
yeah,
they say?
Leon Draisaitl,
they always say,
guy.
"Hey, Draisaitl, you sexy bee."
Yeah, he would like that. He likes that kind of attention.
Surrey.
Luke Gazdick. I think Gaz.
Well, Gaz is like he's kind of like rough, handsome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't you think?
But he's slimmed down. You saw him here at Cup
he's
Final.
he's on our show once a week through the year. Like, I know Joelle, who's in the YouTube chat usually.
I put Gaz.
She loves his eyes.
Who else?
I think who else were handsome Oilers along the way.
There was a few. Trying to remember.
Anyway,
Benoit Pouliot was a good-looking dude.
Was he an okay-looking guy?
I think so.
Who else do they have?
Who do you like? Go and you're like, that guy's a man rocket.
Like on the Oilers or just in general?
Like back in the
day? I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to chime in on this, people. Like,
I don't know.
I didn't think about a lot of the Oilers as
Klefbom.
man rockets. Oh, Klefbom.
Larson. The
Klefbom
Swedes.
for sure.
Yeah.
Klefbom was more handsome than Larson. I mean, Klefbom's going to get drafted for sure. That's
Oscar.
the other one. We already had his name on there
Great
today.
guy.
But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Are we going to have draft a handsome doctor? A handsome firefighter?
Oh, all those
Obviously,
firefighters.
athletes,
those guys are like rock stars.
Musician, handsome musician.
Sure.
Ryan
Jones says Jess. Our Jess.
Ryan Jones? Yes.
Yeah, Ryan's a good.
He had a strong jawline.
Jaw.
Jones did.
Yeah.
He was always a really nice guy to talk to.
He was great.
Yeah. He was good.
Yeah.
Rip City Step says Joel is going to fight Dustin. I don't know. I think I described Gazdick as like rugged handsome. That's a thing.
Good-looking guy.
Right? You can't all just be like perfect handsome like us. Some of you have to be rugged handsome along the way as well. Ace D says or Ace Ed, I don't know, one or the other.
Aced.
Says Stuart Skinner with that mustache is kind of
yeah, Stu. Yeah, he's good.
Skinner with the mustache and the hat.
Is Cody Cece's good looking guy?
Right? Yeah, actually Cody Cece. It's funny you bring that up. When I bumped into him at Italian Center Shop a little while ago, I was just like, you are a pretty handsome man.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously in great shape.
Of course.
But I was like, his facial features, he's very well structured. Cody Cece's a well structured man. It's just simple.
Yeah. I think his dad was a football player.
Anyway,
Anyway.
that draft is going to be awesome, and we'll get to it. And it was Quinn's idea.
Okay.
She brought it up
Quinn.
yesterday during the draft.
Nikitin says Brett Beaton. No, I don't think so.
It was a strange-looking dude, wasn't he? He was a strange-looking dude.
Mark says Craig Simpson's hair. Craig Simpson was voted like the sexiest guy in hockey a bunch of times. So was Mike Ricci, oddly enough.
How's that possible? Like,
I think
who's voting on this? Hilarious people?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Chris says Stoff's pick would be loophole. Yes, it would be. We are laughing.
Does Stoff get picked in this draft? No comment.
No comment.
No comment.
That's my friend.
No comment. If you're looking to place a little wager, maybe you got some Olympic stuff going on. I mean, I don't know about this Olympic ceremony on the river.
I kind of like it. It was neat.
I'm just going to make a bold statement right now. I don't like it. I like to see athletes march. Now, I didn't see the end of it. I just saw everybody coming through the
under the bridge.
Did they get off the boat and then march into a thing?
I don't know. I don't
know. I mean, if the boat process was how they were delivered to what would eventually be a march of the athletes, then I get it. But I don't know. If it was just like they fly down the river and then that's it, I'm not liking that.
I'm not sure. It's different. I appreciate them thinking outside the box. I saw Lady Gaga's performance. It seemed all right. Cool. I don't know. Cool. Like
Yanni Niinema. Man, maybe. I don't know. I know Yanni a little bit, playing the world's longest hockey game with him.
I don't know.
Spent like 11 days right next to that dude.
Guys
I
are good looking.
didn't think about that. Well, you're going to have to be if you're going to make
I'll
it
try.
4 in a row.
I mean, I think
4 drafts in a row.
I think we are all able to recognize
you not winning handsome man draft is equivalent to Yukon Jack not winning either the bald or the wrestling drafts.
Well,
that's just the truth. So no pressure, Tommy, but that's yours to lose.
Didn't Yukon throw those though?
No, he just screwed up because he's bad at drafting.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. All right, that's going to do it for the Oil Stream today. We will see you tonight at the Nasty Bash. We got Nielsen Show replay coming up this afternoon on TuneIn and iHeart and at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. And if you're not coming to the Nasty Bash, make sure you're watching our socials tonight, probably around 7:30ish. The good news
Very excited.
will start to slide out to the masses. So that should be a lot of fun. For Tom Gazzola, I'm Dustin Nielson. Huge thanks to our partners at both Coolbet and Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. And, of course, our presenting sponsor, Boston Pizza. Hit up that patio, any of the patios at Boston Pizza on Sunday prior to come on down to the Elks game. Tommy will be on the sidelines. I'll be up in the booth. The boys will be set up at the tailgate. It's going to be an absolutely outstanding time. Redbeard in and says, boys, is there a ginger category in this draft? I would say a redhead. Like the last
Randy
thing.
Gregg, Rafi Torres,
Who else is
James
handsome?
Hamlin, Liam Reddix.
Oh, you're just thinking Oilers. I was thinking like overall.
Oh,
handsome
overall. Well, Redbeard.
Yeah.
That's our guy.
We'll pass on that one. All right, that's going to do it for the Oil Stream today. Have a great day and take it easy.